أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. الصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين أبي القاسم محمد، اللهم صل على محمد. والصلاة والسلام على أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المنتجبين، سيما بغية الله في الأرضين، روحي وأرواح العالمين له الفداء، واللعن الدائمة على أعدائهم أجمعين من الآن إلى قيام يوم الدين. قال الله عز وجل في قرآن الكريم: أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الله لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم لا تأخذه سنة ولا نوم له ما في السماوات وما في الأرض من ذا الذي يشفع عنده إلا بإذنه يعلم ما بين أيديهم وما خلفهم ولا يحيطون بشيء إلا ما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يعده حفظهما هو العلي العظيم. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين الرشد من الغي ومن يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها والعلي العظيم. الله هو ولي الذين يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور والذين كفروا أولياءهم الطاغوت يخرجهم من النور إلى الظلمات أولئك أصحاب النار هم فيها خالدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد. Yesterday, we somewhat discussed the meanings of La ikraha fi din and how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not make it a compulsion for anyone to follow any path. It's something within human nature to accept the truth when they see it. And the truth is the deen of Islam. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us and gave us every opportunity to learn and complete ourselves, so that on the day of judgment, every single one of us will be held accountable for any misguidance, apart from the mustad'afeen. So we always say there is exceptions to every rule. Exception to this rule is mustad'afeen. Who are the mustad'afeen? The people who had never heard about Islam, the people who never doubted whatever thought that they had or whatever ideology they had. But even them, in the barzakh after they pass away, they will have the opportunity to choose the right path and go to heaven, inshallah. لا إكراه في الدين قد تبين رشد من الغي. Rushd is growth. Rashid, someone who's grown, someone that has guidance, someone that guides. Ar-rushd is the opposite of ghay, of kufr. Kufr is what? Misguidance, deviation. قد تبين الرشد من الغي. Allah conveys the truth, compares to the falsehood. قد تبين الرشد من الغي. After there is no compulsion in Islam, and we said that ilm and conviction and iman is our savior, Allah makes the comparison between the guided and the misguided. And what is the difference between the ones that are guided and the misguided? من يؤمن بالطاغوت. Whoever takes the wrong wali, whoever has iman towards the wrong leader because of dunya. The hadith says that some people came to the Imam and said there were some people who have accepted this person, that person as the Khalifa, the wrong ones. But they're good people. They act on what is compulsory, stay on what is haram. And there are those who have you and the correct leadership as their wali, have they chosen the correct wali, but they have problems in their furu' ad-din, in their actions. How can that be taghut and this be the guidance? The Imam became angry. He said that those people who have chosen the wrong leader on purpose are misguided, and even if they have good deeds, their good deeds will be taken away from them due to their lack of iman. And the ones that have iman and have bad deeds, their bad deeds will be erased and good deeds replaced because of their iman. من يؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى لا انفصام لها الله ولي الذين يخرجهم من الظلمات إلى النور. Allah takes them out of guidance and takes them into nur. The ones who have iman, the ones who have the love of Ahlul Bayt alayhim salatu wassalam in their hearts, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove them from darkness into light. And the ones that don't will eventually be removed from light into darkness. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us the mizan, the scales of what is important. Iman is the most important blessing everyone could have. Why? Because your bodies that so much care is taken of. Have you seen half the conversations about health? Not very much is talked about aqeedah, your soul. This body, and as important as health is, and safety is, and all these blessings are, is nothing without iman. Because animals are healthy. Animals can be healthy. Animals can live a long life. It means nothing. It's worthless for someone to have a long life and have a healthy life without iman. But a person who has iman, their presence is light. Their presence is nur. Their presence is guidance. Their presence is barakah. Their absence is darkness. The body is only there as the carrier of the soul. The soul is the most important thing, not the carrier. Like we said before, this dunya is the carrier, it's the bridge between being born and going to the day of judgment. It's not the destination, it's just a bridge, it's just a temporary passage. This body that you have with you is a temporary passage that's in your hands. It's something that Allah has given you temporarily to use and then to be answered for. We said that everything will be have to answered for. Some ahadith is interesting. I'll recite them for you. It says that on the day of judgment, many things will bear shahadat. Remember we talked about the tongue? In dunya, the tongue denies. In dunya, the tongue denies. You commit a sin, the tongue says, no, I did not commit a sin. You stole, I did not steal. The tongue denies everything that you do. And even denies it to yourself, don't worry, it'll be okay. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Don't worry. The tongue, it said that it's a small, jurmihi qalil. The size of it is small, but jurmihi kathir. Its sins are plenty. Its size is small, but its sins are great. The sins that this tongue can make. And many of the mu'mineen fall into the trap because shaitan doesn't go to a mu'min and say drink alcohol, commit adultery. Instead it says talk behind someone's back. Instead it says think about someone else's life and talk about them. Instead it encourages them to lie, to backbite. This tongue will have to answer. But what happens when the tongue denies it? When the feet deny it? When the hand denies it? The hadith says three things will come. Number one, the earth. Where did you sin? On the earth. The earth will bear witness. Ya Allah, I bear witness that your abd, your servant, in this particular place on me committed this sin. Ya Allah, I bear witness, Fulan ibn Fulan committed adultery in this spot on my land. The abd is denying it, but the earth bears witness. Ya Allah, your servant drank alcohol in this time, in this particular place. I bear witness to it. And you deny it. The second thing that bears witness is the part of the body that acted on the sin. Because Allah gave it to us in good faith that you will use it for what it's supposed to be meant for used, not to abuse it. If Allah gave you a hand, it was to help the needy, to touch the mahrams. The part of the body that committed this sin will bear witness, Ya Allah, I committed this sin. You will deny it, the tongue will deny it. Thirdly, the Imam of your time will bear witness. Your file is with the Imam of your time. Your Imam of your time will bear witness. This person committed this sin in front of me. The hadith said if all three bear witness and this person still denies it, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, I bear witness that I saw you do this. What would you say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Imagine you denied the earth, you denied your body parts, you denied your Imam, but you cannot deny what Allah is bearing witness to. He's the judge. He's the judge. He's the ultimate person who's going to judge you. And He saw what you did. This body is temporary. To take the soul from one place to the other, the soul stays. So take care of this soul and take care of the body for what it's been given to you for. I'm talking to myself. Inshallah, you're all better than me. The body is not being given to us to pamper it and look after it, to make sure it's 100% charged every single day of the week and make ourselves look and feel younger and younger and younger. And then what? Where is the spirituality? Where is that void that you feel inside you? How would you feel that? Allahu waliyul ladina. Allahu wali. Allah is the protector. Allah is the person who looks after you. If you bring iman, conviction, faith, believe in Allah, and Allah will raise your hand. Don't believe in Bani Adam. Don't believe in your manager, your friend, whoever's got a status in dunya. Believe in Allah. Allahu waliyul ladina yukhrijun. Allahu waliyul ladina amanu. Ya ayyuhal ladina amanu. Ittaqullah. If you have brought iman to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then stay away from sins. Then stay away what is from haram. Commit to what Allah has asked from you, so that your wali can be proud of you when it comes to going back to it. قَدْ تَبَيَّنَ الرُّشْدَ مِنَ الْغَيِّ مَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالطَّاغُوتِ. Who is Taghut? Those people who falsely claimed the position of Amir al-Mu'minin. If you refuse them, to say you're not one of them, if you refuse them, then you come to the side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But if you go towards the enemies of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you have left the true side of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have no iman. من يكفر بالطاغوت يؤمن بالله. So whoever has iman to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala must let go of taghut. That is the difference between us and everyone else. That not only we shed tears for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam, but we have tabarri, that we are away from the enemies of Imam Hussein as well. We're not with them. If you go to Egypt, you go to the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, where the head was placed for a while. They will tell you This is the shrine of Sayyidina al-Hussein, who was killed by Sayyidina Yazid, the son of Sayyidina Muawiyah. How can that be? If you have love for Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha, in that heart, you cannot have love for the enemies of Fatima al-Zahra at the same time. The hadith says, do not come together in one heart. You have one or the other, or you're lying. Whoever has the smallest amount of compassion and love for the enemies of Ahlul Bayt alayhim wassalatu wassalam, the hadith said, فَقَدْ كَفَرْ. فَقَدْ كَفَرْ. Iman is not just having the acceptance of the Ahlul Bayt, but also accepting the hatred Ahlul Bayt had towards their enemies, and not going towards them for the sake of dunya or whatever dunya may provide for us. من يكفر بالطاغوت ويؤمن بالله فقد استمسك بالعروة الوثقى. The condition to being in heaven. Istamsaka means what? Tamassaka. Tamassaka means what? Hold on to. Grab onto. If you want to grab onto the rope of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then not only should you have iman, but also you should have what? Hatred for the enemies. Yakfur bil-taghut. Show kufr towards taghut. At the same time as showing iman to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. These two go hand in hand, 50-50. You cannot have one without the other. A complete iman is both of these things, tabarri and tawalli. Just as a true mu'min has to have 50-50, the hadith says wings that will take you to heaven. What is the 50-50? Half hope, half fear. A mu'min constantly lives between these two. If you have too much hope in the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then you will go into sins. If you have too much fear of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you will never believe in the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So you will be misguided. Hope and fear needs to be 50-50. And here iman can only come and be completed if you have hatred for the enemies of Ahlul Bayt. Although there's no iman. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us in this important ayah that is the heart of the most important surah of the Quran, of the most important book that ever came down, that the central point that we live around and we exist for is for guidance. Allah Azza wa Jal created us for what? Believing in La ilaha illallah in its trueness, not saying it with the tongue and then knocking on the door of every single other person apart from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we knocked on everyone's door and no one answered, then going to the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. No. We go to the door of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, only Him. La ilaha illahu wal hayyul qayyum. Because our being and the existence of the entire world revolves around Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's nothing more powerful than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And if you want to be rescued, then you must have iman. Stop worrying about everything else apart from iman. Stop worrying about what will happen tomorrow, worry about iman. Stop worrying about your children's school, worry about iman. Stop worrying about your children's health, worry about iman. Stop worrying about your mortgage, worry about iman. Stop worrying about your debts, worry about iman. Stop worrying about dunya, think about يوم القيامة. إن رأيت الناس يشتغلون بعيوب الناس أنت اشتغل بعيوب نفسك. If you see everybody working on other people's faults, backbiting, talking about other people, you look in the mirror and think about yourself and fix your own faults. You will not sit in the grave of any other mu'min. You will be in your own grave. Allah will raise you from your grave and raise you with your name. No two names will get mixed up. Don't worry about this person, that person. Don't sit in the majalis talking about this person did this person did that. It's not your business. Allah will not ask you Yawm al-Qiyamah about this person or that person. They will ask about you. So don't waste your time digging your own grave and a ditch for yourself to fall into by talking about others. Spend some time fixing your own akhirah. Think about yourself, because you will be raised to answer for yourself, not for anybody else. And if by one chance you have done that and you see a need to speak to another brother, another sister, go to them directly. If you have the care for your mu'mineen and mu'minat, brothers and sisters, then speak to them. Why would you talk behind their back? You care so much about the life of someone else. Knock on the door, assalamu alaikum. Can I have a private conversation for 2 minutes? Maybe I'm wrong, but 1, 2, 3. If you don't have the guts to do something like that, then speak quiet. Keep it to yourself, whatever your opinion is. من حفر بئر لأخيه فقد وقع فيها. If you dig a ditch for your brother to fall into, you will fall into it yourself. You're digging it for yourself. Believe me, I've seen it multiple times. Don't dig for other people, because you're digging for yourself. The world revolves. If you are on the top, tomorrow you'll be at the bottom. If you're at the bottom, don't be sad. Tomorrow you'll be on top. It constantly moves. That's the way of the world. If you're happy today, then be worried about tomorrow. If you're sad today, don't worry, tomorrow you'll be happy. It changes. It never stays the same for anybody. And that's been the same for history for everybody. One of the most moving stories, because it's our last night here, I think, it's worthy to mention this. And it goes with the tafsir of قَدْ تَبَيْنَ الرُّشْدُ مِنَ الْغَيِّ وَمَنْ يَكْفُرُ بِالطَّاغُوتِ بِاللَّهِ. Is this old man. This old man of Jewish faith, he came to Medina. Some say he lived in Sham, some say he lived in Medina. Anyway, he was in Medina. He saw Salman al-Farisi. You've all heard of the name of Salman al-Farisi. Minna Ahlul Bayt. The place he had in the eyes of the Prophet, peace be upon him. Now Salman, at this time, was an old man. Very old man. This Jewish person, when he sees Salman, says, "Oh Salman," he does not know who he is, but he says, "Oh old man, I have a request from you." Salman says, "What is it?" He says, "I have a sick daughter who I love very much." A sick daughter. In some narrations it said that she was unable to walk. In some it says she was unable to see and walk, i.e. she was blind. He says, "I've taken her to the best of doctors everywhere, including Sham." Sham was very modern back then. But no one could do anything for her. "But I saw that you're an old man." Now us, the Yahud, when we have a problem, we gather the oldest people around us and we ask them to pray and ask Musa ibn Imran to give shafa, to give our hajat. So I'm coming to you as the old man that you are to pray. Now listen to what Salman says. Salman says, "If I could be of assistance, to cure your daughter, will you change your religion and become Muslim?" You want shafa for your daughter? If I was able to give that to you, will you change your religion? The man thinks and he says, "Yes, I will do it." He says, "Okay, come with me." The man takes out some gold to give Salman. Salman says, "If I was going to take your gold, I would not have the power to do anything. The fact that I can do something is because this gold means nothing to me. And it's not me who would give shafa anyway. I'm going to take you to someone else's house. Salman takes the man and the daughter to the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. Allahumma salli. Ali alayhi salam opens the door. Salman, come in. Salman says, I have a guest for you. This man has this particular hajat and this girl wants shafa from you. Now remember, the girl is blind but she can hear. They sit down in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam, and Amir al-Mu'mineen says, the person who can help is not me. Salman says, who is it? If it's not you, ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Amir al-Mu'mineen says, Salman, call Hussein. The person who will give her shafa is Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. Salman calls Hussein ibn Ali alayhi salam. Imam Hussein comes. Takes a bowl of water, puts his hand in that bowl of water, takes some of the water and throws it on the face of this girl. This girl opens her eyes, and before her father, she says, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, wa ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. She can see. Her father gives the shahadatain, Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah, wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah, wa ashhadu anna Aliyan waliyullah. That was the deal. They've been all around the world, they could not give shafa. They come to the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen. In seconds, Imam Hussein gives her shafa. The man said, I've been told that you have no value for gold and dunya. I'm a very rich person, but there's nothing I can give you to thank you. But I want something. I want to leave my girl, my daughter, in your house as a servant to serve you for a number of years. So firstly, what better place for her to be than this spiritual household? And secondly, it's my way to say thank you. And obviously the girl has been cured, she's more than happy to. So she stays in the house of Amir al-Mu'mineen. She stays with Fatima al-Zahra salamullah alayha. She lives with Zaynab al-Kubra, with Kulthum. For a number of years, she learns from them about religion, about spirituality, about death, about life. But remember what we mentioned, how dunya changes. Never look down on someone because they're poor. Never look down on someone because they need you, because tomorrow you'll be in their position. The dunya always revolves. Respect the person who needs help, just as you would wish to be respected if you were in their position. Because tomorrow you will need help, I guarantee you. Doesn't matter what you have. This man had everything in dunya, but he wanted the eyesight and the shafa of his daughter. When he saw these people that wanted nothing from him and gave everything that he wanted to him, he brought Iman. But how the world changes. Amir al-Mu'mineen, after a number of years, called the father. He says, come and take your daughter. Why? Because it's nearly time for her to become married. And a girl at this age should not be in the house. Take her and let her get married. Some of the narrations say that she did not want to leave the house of Fatima al-Zahra salamullah. And she kissed the feet of Fatima al-Zahra. She kissed the feet of Zaynab al-Kubra. She said, I've been a good servant of your house. Allow me to stay here. But Amir al-Mu'mineen said, no, it's time for her to get married. Let her go. The father took this girl where? Back to Sham. As it turns out, who did she get married to? Muawiyah, the son of Abi Sufyan, comes to take her hand in marriage for his son Yazid, the son of Muawiyah. Yazid, the son of Muawiyah, marries this girl in Sham. Look how the world changes, but you've not heard anything yet. Her name was Hind. You can go and search about her. She becomes married to Yazid. Many years go by, and there is a distance between her and Ahl al-Madinah. Now, I know that time is limited, and there is many majalis tonight, so I'm not going to take too much of your time. And I know that tonight is the night of Ashura. So before I start reciting the Masa'ib, and tonight truly is the night of Masa'ib, I just want to say something for 2-3 minutes. We know many people that were in this majalis before and they're no longer amongst us. We don't know if we will be here the night of Ashura next year or not. We don't even know if tomorrow we'll be alive to commemorate the majlis of Ashura al-Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. Truly we don't know. None of us know how long we're going to be on earth. But we know one thing, that if we have hope to get into heaven on the Day of Judgment, it's because of the tears that we shed for Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wassalam. If we have something that we're going to take with us in our kafan when they take us, it's the angels that will bring the tears that they've collected from these majalis. I'm saying this for myself. Because truly, if we don't cry on the night of Ashura for the Masa'ib of Abdullah alayhi salam, when will we cry? If we don't collect these tears in these nights, when will we? The hadith says the angels come and bring their wings to get the blessings of the majalis of Abdullah and the places where the people that cried for Imam Hussein were sat. And those that touch themselves to the tears of Imam Hussein alayhi salatu wasalam are elevated. Understand what these tears mean. Some of you are very young. Remember the young people that were your age in Karbala. We had children that were never mentioned in the Masa'ib. I was reading the other day, a young girl called Khadija. She was the granddaughter of Imam Hassan, 3-4 years old. She was trampled on by the horses, she was killed on Ashura. So many small little children that we don't even hear about. If you're old, then remember the ashab of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, such as Habib. And if you're middle-aged, then remember Imam Hussein himself. The world revolves around Hind, the servant of Imam Hussein, the servant of Fatima al-Zahra, the servant of Zainab al-Kubra. She's sitting in Damascus, in Sham. She hears commotion. She hears people shouting. She hears some people laughing, some people crying. What is going on? She asks Yazid, Yazid, what is the sound outside? Yazid says, they're the Khawarij people outside of Islam. We have captured them and we've killed their men. She goes outside. Who is she? The wife of Yazid. She has 20 people walking behind her. The most expensive of clothes. In the Kharaba of Sham,
She sees these ladies with ripped clothes. She sees these children walking bare feet. They put a stool so she can stand up on it because they don't want her clothes to become dirty. She stands up on the stool. She says, "Who are you and where are you from?" Zainab al-Kubra replies, "We are from Medina." She says, "You're from Medina?" "I used to live in Medina." "Which place in Medina?" She replies, "The area of Bani Hashim." When she heard the area of Bani Hashim, she came down the stool as respect for these people, that they lived in that area. She says, "I lived in the area of Bani Hashim. What is the news of the Bayt of Ali alayhi salam? What is the news of Hassan and Hussein? What is the news of Zaynab and Kulthum? What do you know about them, O lady?" She says, "In sa'alati an Zaynab, fa'ana Zaynab." If you ask about Zaynab, then I am Zaynab. وإن سألتي عن الحسين فهذا رأس الحسين بين يدي اليزيد. And if you ask about Hussein, that's the head of Imam Hussein in the hands of Yazid. Hen says, "I am your servant." Hen, she begins to rip her clothes, hit herself on the head. She says, "Wa Husayna, wa Aliyah, wa Imama." She looks at Yazid, she goes to Yazid, she says, "From this day I am no longer your wife. This is the head of my master, Abu Abdullah alayhi salam. I have nothing to do with you. Ya ayyuhan nas, tonight is the night of Ashura. Tonight is to collect our gratitude and our rewards." I'm going to recite something for myself. All the ulama said the most difficult of scenes in Ashura was Zainab saying goodbye to Abu Abdullah on this night and on this day. On the night of Ashura, a few things happened. Imam Hussein said goodbye to the ashab. One by one he said to them, "Whoever wants to leave, they're allowed to go." One by one he asked them, "Go home." No one will accept, apart from some people at the middle of the night. They took their stuff and they left Abu Abdullah alone. Zainab comes looking for Imam Hussein in the middle of the night. She goes to the tents of Ansar. Imam Hussein is not there. She goes to the tents of Muhajirin. Imam Hussein is not there. She goes to the tent of Bani Hashim. Imam Hussein is not there. And then finally she finds Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He's got his sword in his hand and he's talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, saying, "After tonight I don't want to be in this world." And he's taking his sword and he's cutting the thorns. Abu al-Fadl Abbas with Zainab, he asks, "Ya Abu Abdullah, why is it you're cutting these thorns?" He says, "Oh Abbas, tomorrow my children will come barefoot on these thorns. I don't want them to go into their feet." On the day of Ashura tomorrow, when Imam Hussein looks at the ashab and no one is there, he calls out the names one by one. "Oh Ali al-Akbar," no one replies. "Oh Qasim," no reply. He asks Habib, no reply. "Ya Aba Fadil," no reply. He goes to the ladies and alaykum inni as-salam. This is my last salams and goodbyes to you. Zainab comes outside and begins to cry. Imam Hussein said, "I asked you to promise not to cry." He calms her down and gets on Dhul Janah, moves onto the battlefield. He looks behind and sees Zainab running after him, shouting, "Mahlan, Mahla, Yabna Zahra. Mahlan, Mahla, go quietly, the son of Zahra." Imam Hussein comes back and says, "What is it, Zainab?" She says, "I forgot the wasiyyah of our mother Fatima to Zahra. She told me if you saw Abu Abdullah all alone on the day of Ashura, kiss his throat on my behalf." لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. Remember your du'as, your hajat. أمن مضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء أمن يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء. Bring your hands up and remember your hajat. باسمك العظيم الأعظم العز الأجل الأكرم يا الله يا الله يا الله. Everyone. يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله يا الله. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج. Ya Allah, hasten the repentance of our Imam. Ya Allah, forgive all our sins, all of our marhumeen. Ya Allah, give the hajat of all mu'mineen and mu'minat, all of those who have helped in this majalis. Ya Allah, give them the best of dunya and akhirah, inshaAllah. Ya Allah, allow our hearts, the children's hearts, all of our generations after generation to be on the path of Imam Hussain alayhi salam and away from the enemies of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, inshaAllah. ببركة الصلاة على محمد وآل محمد. الفاتحة.
الشام 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 الشام. یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا دل میرا پھٹ جاتا ہے بابا. کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر. قبر پہ شبیر کی کرتے تھے عابد بکا قبر پہ شبیر کی کرتے تھے عابد بکیا. ہو گئے کیا کیا جفا سنیے شہ کربلا ہو گئے کیا کیا جفا سنیے شہ کربلا. سر پہ کسی کے نہ تھی چادر یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا دل میرا پھٹ جاتا ہے بابا. کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر. ایک رسن میں بندے چھوٹے بڑوں کے گلے ایک رسن میں بندے چھوٹے بڑوں کے گلے. برسر دربار سب بستر لڑائے گئے برسر دربار سب بستر لڑائے گئے. ہونٹوں سے برساتے تھی پتھر یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا دل میرا پھٹ جاتا ہے بابا. کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر. توقع سے ہرگز نہ تھا بابا میرا سر جھکا توقع سے ہرگز نہ تھا بابا میرا سر جھکا. ہتھ کری اور بحری کا کوئی مجھے غم نہ تھا ہتھ کری اور بحری کا کوئی مجھے غم نہ تھا. دیکھا نہیں جاتا تھا منظر یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا دل میرا پھٹ جاتا ہے بابا. کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر. مقتل و تاریخ بھی کر نہ سکے حق ادا مقتل و تاریخ بھی کر نہ سکے حق ادا. لکھے انی سے ہزی گریا عابد کو کیا لکھے انی سے ہزی کہتے تھے یہ عابد مزتر یاد جب آ جاتا ہے بابا دل میرا پھٹ جاتے ہے بابا کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر کوفے کو اور شام کا منظر.
جزاک اللہ.